Hi, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. I hope that your holidays have been great so far, and there's more to come for some of you guys. And pretty soon it's going to be 2019, and so we're going to do another 2019 prediction reading. And so this reading is going to be what to expect in 2019. Before I begin, I want to say thank you for an anonymous donation. We have the Sacred Geometry Activation Oracle, which is actually the top card here. I have had some experience with this particular deck before, so I'm looking forward to using it. And then we have the Oracle of Mystical Moments that came. This one's a little bit, it's a little bit of a difficult deck, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be using it. It's just it's going to take me a little while to get used to it, connect with it, and all of that kind of stuff. And really, I have not had enough time to be able to do that yet. But I am very thankful for those, and I really, really appreciate all the donations. You guys are great. That said, let's go ahead and get back to the reading. I will go ahead and list which pile's which, so that you guys can go ahead and start picking your piles. Pile number 1 is white, pile number 2 is blue, pile number 3 is purple, pile number 4 is pink, pile number 5 is green, and pile number 6 is red, and those are all butterflies. So, that said, you know, anything there is that you might need to know about me is in the description. And if it's not there, then go ahead and either leave me a comment or send me an email. The email is in my description. I do have 2019 prices listed down in my description now, but I will not be switching over there until January 1st. So if you would still like to get a reading for 2018 prices, you can still book those, okay? And again, if you want 15% off your 2019 reading anytime you want to get on that list, go ahead and send me an email by the end of the year. And it's just, you don't have to, this doesn't mean that you have to purchase a reading, it's just get on the list so that when and if you do, you'll get 15% off to kind of help transition into those new prices. Alrighty? Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Okay, what to expect in 2019. Those of you who have not picked a pile, please pause the video. And those of you who have, let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with pile 1. Okay, so the white butterfly. Let's see, what can you guys expect in 2019? Okay, got determination and anger. The Mystic Circle. Black Cat, the Hermit, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, and Miracle. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the tarot, okay? The Hermit talks about going within. I mean, okay, so yeah, I mean, everybody knows that the Hermit card, well, most people do. Not everybody, but most people know that the Hermit card tends to describe an introvert. Everybody who knows a little bit about tarot and astrology know that the Hermit card is associated with Virgo. So just, you know, kind of keep those things in mind. I'm not saying you're a Virgo or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, here's some background. The number associated is 9, in case that's important to you. So the Hermit energy is talking about, it's not just about being alone or being introverted. It's also, it's about searching for answers within. And that you, by being alone, by being still, and by being with yourself, that you can kind of synthesize your own answers from everything that you've already known. It's kind of like the card that lets you know that you already have everything that you need inside of you. And it's just like you have to kind of withdraw in order to access all of that information. So the action to take when you get the Hermit card, so this would be the action to take for 2019, is to do some reflection. You know, you can even start it now. Just do some reflection on how you want your year to go, and what you've learned, and how you want to, like, what do you want to change in 2019, okay? Because the Hermit can bring a lot of really great change from within, and also can affect his or her world a lot better. If the Hermit is a difficult character for you to identify with, consider the Crone in the Maiden Mother Crone. The Hermit and the Crone have the same kinds of energy. It's like kind of like the wizard and the you know the herbalist witch, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. This is telling you that in 2019, it's almost like a caution to think before you act. You know, really consider what you're doing, what you're going to be, the action that you're going to take, and that kind of thing. And it feels like you guys are going through a period of time in 2019 where you're going to be really maturing when it comes to that. You're not going to be so it's like your responses aren't going to be so quick that you'll be more contemplative before you respond. And it also might just also mean that you're going to be a little bit more reserved this year. Nothing wrong with that. We've got the Five of Wands, and we've got some other cards that I already talked about that speaks about this. There's going to be some conflicts, okay? There's going to be some challenges, but because it's not a major arcana card, okay? It's not a big deal, but I mean there are going to be some challenges through 2019. We all have challenges come up in our life, It's like saying that there's going to be challenges in 2019 is kind of like saying water is wet, right? But it seems like this is going to be kind of a focus for you, is overcoming challenges. So if you want that lesson to be learned quicker so that you don't have to have as many in 2019, go ahead and just try to be real patient with them and know that there's always a way there's always a way to overcome them. Usually it's about going through them though. And unfortunately, that's not very pleasant. But you do have the Six of Wands right afterwards that promises that you will be successful. Like you do have what it takes to take care of this stuff. It's almost like after the contemplation, you're going to go out and you're going to fight your battles and you're going to be successful. And I think it's because you've taken some time to contemplate. So what this is telling me is that one of the things to expect for you guys in 2019 is that there's going to be some challenges. I really feel like it has to do with people. I really feel like it has to do with relating, and it might affect your job, but I feel like it's more like friends, socializing, that kind of thing. And if you aren't the kind of person that goes out a whole lot or spends a lot of time around people, or doesn't interact with people a lot, it might be online, that kind of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind, but you will be successful again. Not to minimize this, because this is going to be a big deal, but you will be successful with this stuff, okay? I mean, this isn't like a task for you to try to overcome, that's almost impossible or anything like that, okay? So, I really love this inspirational oracle cards that's cat themed, so I decided to feature them in this. Those of you guys who haven't seen any of my videos before, I'm kind of a cat person, so yeah. Okay, so we've got anger and determination. All right, these are two very these are very activating experiences, energies to be in, okay? Anger and determination is what gets you through these obstacles, okay? And anger, unfortunately, like some feelings, for some people, many feelings, is considered kind of like a negative emotion. Like, you shouldn't have that feeling. No, don't have that. Like, you shouldn't cry. You shouldn't, don't feel this, don't feel that, Try to forget that. Anger is something that you can feel, and you do feel, because you're human, and the chemicals that our brains create and our endocrine system creates can combine to make anger, okay? The thing about anger, though, is that it's always a secondary emotion. There's always something behind the anger. What gets you angry? Are you angry because you're jealous? Are you angry because you see an injustice? Are you angry because you're hurt? Are you angry because you're afraid? Anger is always a secondary emotion. However, one thing that I've noticed is that people who use their anger for positive change are the ones that become things like activists, leaders, are people that are able to get something done. Anger can be very energizing. It's just how we respond to that, okay? All of our emotions and all of our thoughts are completely neutral. The only thing that matters about whether or not they are good or bad depends on how we respond to our thoughts and our feelings. Okay, so it looks like you've got anger, but then you've also got determination. It's like you do not want to feel this. You're it's like you're outraged. You're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to do something about this. That could be these obstacles that you're going to be overcoming, or it could be something completely different. I do have to mention, because I see these books, I feel like we've got I understand they're cats. Please bear with me. We've got the cat that's like on the streets, and then we've got these books, and it feels like you've got to have a mesh between like street smarts and intellectual smarts. So it's like, if you're one that's kind of heavy in one or the other, try to get more well-rounded in other kinds. And I mean, it can be as simple as being like, okay, I'm gonna learn 10 slang words if you're not so good at street smarts, and if you're maybe not so good at academics, be like, okay, I'm gonna read a couple of books this year that, I don't know. For example, I never learned a whole lot of European history when I was in high school and junior high, and I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't interesting to me. I didn't learn it. So later on, I decided that I was going to read a whole bunch of books about it, because I found that I no longer had a good excuse for not knowing this kind of history. So it's kind of like that, that I feel, and this is really more underlying themes. Okay, the main theme is the anger and the determination. It's just the underlying theme is also like there's something that has to do with knowledge too. You do need your knowledge with you as well. Okay, and we also have the mystical circle. Your abilities will be enhanced. You will find, again, with this success, you are able, you're very capable. You're not gonna have any issues. I mean, if you have issues with self-esteem, it would be psychological. It would not be about how effective you are in the world. I feel like this year you're gonna feel very comfortable being assertive. You're going to be comfortable taking action. You're going to be comfortable standing your ground, sticking up for things that you believe in, those kinds of things. And then we also have your luck will soon change. So this is kind of an interesting, kind of dual meaning thing, which is consider the things in your life where you feel particularly unlucky. That's going to change really soon. Consider the things in your life where you feel particularly lucky. That's also going to change real soon, okay? So it's kind of like your world's going to be turned around a little bit. This is for 2019 again. But I think that this is kind of like when you look at the Wheel of Fortune, it's a wheel, okay? It's not like fortune, it's a Wheel of Fortune, okay? You can go up on it and you can go down on it. Just like everything in life, there's cycles. This is one of those things where your world's going to be a little bit different, but that doesn't mean like luck is the perception, that we're either blessed or we're not blessed. Luck is the perception that either we can or we can't. It's a perception. It's always going to be about how we perceive things. So do understand that if you want to rise above or outside of your luck, understand that it's just a perception. You can shatter that perception by saying, you know what, I'm gonna say yes to everything. I'm gonna look at everything as positive and that kind of thing. It's very, very difficult, okay? But it's not impossible. So if you see this and you're like, ooh, I like where I am, I don't want my luck to change, you do have control over this stuff, okay? It's just, for those of us who kind of leave a lot of things kind of up to chance to happen and that kind of stuff, you'll find that your luck is going to be changing. But you can make your own luck, so please keep that in mind. And we've got Miracle, and I really feel like this also has to do with the success card, the Six of Wands. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and put it up. You've got somebody returning. Usually people interpret this as they're returning from some kind of battle, but it doesn't necessarily have to be battle. It could be a campaign. It could be, it could be a lot of different things, but somebody is returning. They've ended their journey and they're coming home and they've been successful. So this could even represent like getting a degree. It could represent, getting a raise. It can represent landing a new job. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you've had to really, really struggle hard to get through it, although everything that I just listed is a struggle. At least it is for me sometimes. School was a struggle and all of that, had to work hard. And then we've got miracle, okay? And again, it's linked to the Six of Wands. The frequency of miracles supports our belief in ourselves and part of this as part of the source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. And I love this explanation of miracle because that's what a miracle is. A miracle isn't something that just happens and all of a sudden you have this this thing that you didn't think was possible. And it's like, oh, it's a miracle. This has happened. The miracle is really what changes inside of us, where we actually start believing that something's possible that we didn't think was possible before. And because we believe it, we make it happen. That's what the miracle is. At least it is from my perspective. You feel free to have your own perspective on it. I mean, I've experienced some pretty uncanny, experiences that have definitely changed my life, and I have no problem calling those miracles, and they don't really fit into my definition that I'm telling you guys. So I understand that there's some really interesting things that can happen to us in life, but most of the time when I think about answered prayers and when I think about miracles and those kinds of things, it's just, you've got to believe that you can do it. You've got to believe it's possible. And once it's possible, it can happen. Now, I know that there's some really, really heavy subjects out there that, it's like, well, in this case, I'm not saying that just by believing you can, for example, cure cancer, or just by believing you can suddenly not need medicine to treat a mental illness, right? What I'm saying is that if you believe it's possible, you will find a way to get the treatment that you need. And that's what I'm talking about, is a miracle. It's just this change of perception where there's this kind of acceptance for what is, and you take the good and you're able to turn that into something that's more powerful than you thought was possible, okay? So you have you have a really interesting year coming up, because not only do you have a lot of success, you also have some challenges. But, like I said, talking about school, for example, you study hard and you work hard and you take, increasingly harder classes, and it's like you're cramming all of these classes together, like you got like 3 or 4 or 5 classes that you're taking at once, and it's like, that is hard. That's very difficult. That's definitely 5 of Wands energy. That's like a lot of challenges to overcome, and you've got other people that are competing with you, making better grades. Maybe some aren't making as much grades. Some people are having more fun. All of that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you're able to come home and be like, you know what, I've got my degree and I'm good to go. And understand that's an extended metaphor for anything that could challenge you, okay? So I'm not saying that everybody's getting a degree this year. I'm just saying that that's a good metaphor for it. All right, those of you who picked the second pile, group 2, let's go ahead and look at what 2019 has in store for you. Okay, this is an interesting one. All right, I'm just gonna tell you right now because I don't want you to freak out. We've got 2 5s, okay, but we also have an ace. Okay, so those of you who get nervous about this kind of stuff. Okay, I want to go ahead and tell you every single card that we've got, and then we'll go ahead and interpret it. We've got the 5 of Cups. We've got the 5 of Swords. We've got the Ace of Wands. We have Tantric Journey. That's an interesting one. We've got Achievement. We've got Care. We've got Imagination Clouds Your Judgment. And we've got You Are Destined to Succeed. All right? So now that we have all of those cards out, let's start with the tarot. I like to start with the tarot, okay? 5 of Cups energy. This is always about grief, okay? Well, it's not always, but it's usually about grief. And it's also usually about dwelling on the negative. You've got the character in just about every card is upset. You see them grieving about something. You see them just distraught, defeated, that kind of feeling. And you see these cups that have been spilled. There's usually 3 of them. And you always see these 2 cups in the background that they're not paying attention to. They're not paying attention to what they have. Okay? Now, I don't know what you think about this picture or not, but it sure does look like imagination is clouding this person's judgment. Here's the deal. He still has the cups. Okay? They're spilled. but he still has the cups, okay? He can he can write them, and he can fill them back up, okay? And he's got two completely full cups here, okay? It doesn't mean that the world's ended. This isn't the Tower card, okay? This is a period of grief, a period of sadness, okay? And we've got the Five of Swords, okay? This is somebody who is really holding on to their thoughts. They're really holding on to the way that they think things should be. And because of the way that they think things should be, they're hurting other people and they're kind of pushing them away. Okay? Sometimes this card's kind of like, okay, I won this battle, but I'm going to keep sticking it to them. Kind of like that kind of thing. It's kind of the person that is like, oh, hey, remember when you did that stupid thing? You know? And like try to make them feel bad about it over and over again. Okay? So both of these figures here in the fives, first off, they're talking about change, okay? In the Five of Swords, they're talking about how, if you keep thinking what you're thinking, then, things aren't going to go well for you. You've got to change your thoughts. You've got to change your beliefs, okay? You've got to change the action that you take. And the Five of Cups is saying, if you keep believing that your emotions represent your actual reality, then you're not going to see the full picture. Okay, so I really like how we've got imagination clouds your judgment here, because I really think that for those of you who you're the character in the picture, that it's like you're letting your imagination getting the better of you. I would really strongly suggest knowing that there's some things inside of you, some fundamental things that are either hurting you or hurting other people that need to change. And that if you're holding on to a negative experience that you've had, if you've been the victim of trauma or abuse or anything like that, now's the time to heal that, because, we've got this. And then we've also got you're destined to succeed. And the sixes, after the fives, they're always about success. They're always about, or at least they're always about kind of a lightness, if that makes sense. If the fives are heaviness, the sixes are a lightness. It's a rebalancing of the scales, that kind of thing, okay? The Ace of Wands is really interesting because I think that this tells a story here. We have emotions, thoughts, action, okay? The action's going to be new. So this lets me know that you are going to be taking new action, okay? And because you're going to be taking new action, it also lets me know that you're going to be challenging the beliefs that are at the core of these thoughts and feelings, okay? So really keep that in mind. And then for a very few of you, I think that you're not necessarily the character on the card. I think that the person on the card is somebody who's in your life. And I think that this is just a toxic person that you do need to take action with. You need to make certain that you got to make certain that you've got to get rid of this kind of toxic energy, okay? Whether it's coming from yourself or somebody else, And again, the imagination clouds your judgment. Sometimes we really want to believe that somebody's a good person or good for us, or if they only change a little bit and all of that kind of stuff, And I hate giving really, really negative messages, but it's such an important lesson to learn. And I mean, I can just tell you guys right now that I've learned this lesson so many times in my life that I'm still having to work on it, okay? I still had to work on it this past year, and I will probably have many years where I have to work on it again. So please understand that this is a human experience, not just you, okay? But this is going to be part of your 2019. However, you are destined to succeed. So you are going to be coming above this. When the beginning of your 2019 and the ending of your 2019 are going to be completely different. At the beginning, it's going to start out slow. It's going to start out kind of complicated, and you're going to slowly start unraveling all of the, cutting away the tangles, it's like combing out hair that's been like really not taken care of for months, it's that kind of stuff. It's like you're gonna get out the tangles, you're gonna get a haircut, you're gonna just do all this stuff, and by the end, it's like everything's gonna be so much more beautiful, everything's gonna be so much more smooth, and you'll be able to move through your experiences so much easier, and you're gonna be having so much more wisdom. So let's talk about this, okay? So we've got, your doesn't succeed, and then we've also got achievement. I mean, I really feel like one thing that's going to be happening in 2019 for you that is going to be really important for you to internalize is what you have achieved so far and what you will achieve. So keep your mind preoccupied on where you want to be. When you find yourself in a position that you don't like, where do you want to be instead? And think about, what do I need to change in order to be there? That's how you can start taking that action, taking that Ace of Wands action, where it's like, I'm gonna do something new, and you can really make some big difference. And then we've got care. Now, this is like taking care of yourself, okay? This means, make sure make sure that you're not eating fast food every day, that kind of stuff. Try to eat healthy, try to, get some activity in every day. Make sure that you're taking care of your spiritual health, your social health, making sure that you're sleeping enough, and that kind of thing. Some people, getting enough water, staying on a good routine, that kind of thing. Those are ways that we can take care of ourselves. We can love ourselves by doing those things. But another aspect of this is making certain that you're reaching out to other people for help. It is so hard to do that. I mean, like, I say I don't understand, but it's actually, I do get it, because it's hard for me to reach out sometimes. But when we do reach out, it's amazing how many people want to help when you do reach out. So do understand that there are people that are willing to help, okay? Equally, this is also kind of a call to, try to take care of other people too, There's only so much you can do when you're not getting your own needs met, though. And I don't want to give a wrong impression that, okay, you need to go start taking care of other people. Don't even worry about yourself, because that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just, if you feel like you're secure and you've got yourself taken care of and you've got your needs met, this could be a call to action to take care of some other people. Try to, get a hold of somebody that maybe has been reaching out to you, or that kind of thing. Okay, so this is emphasizing care, as in not just caring physically, but it's also caring compassionately. Okay, and also caring intellectually too. I feel like the attention that you want to put into intellectual matters is going to be a lot more intense this year, too. Then we've got Tantric Journey. This is a really interesting card, and I'll go ahead and read it to you, because I really feel like the messages on these cards are better than anything I could really interpret. The frequency of Tantric Journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. Okay, so what this is telling you now, I understand tantric, okay, so that has to do with sex, right? Doesn't necessarily have to do with sex, okay, but I mean, it could, sure, but this is about human connection, okay? This is about how we can transform ourselves by connecting with another human being. It's also about how we can transform ourselves by identifying what we find unacceptable about ourselves and other people, and taking actions to change that. It's so much easier to criticize other people for what they do wrong. At least it can be. I mean, some of you guys might be like, oh no, I'm much harder on myself, and I know that there's those people out there too, right? But it's easy to see what's wrong with other people, basically, because you don't have bias there. You don't have stories you're telling yourself about them. You can easily look at another person and see pretty quickly what's wrong, and what they could do to fix it. Tantric Journey is a lot more about looking to others to help clue you into things that you can fix yourself. And again, this 5 energy, the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Swords, is going to be transformed by the Ace of Wands energy of taking action, challenging your beliefs, challenging your thoughts and feelings, and throwing out that doesn't serve you anymore, okay? So this is what to expect in 2019. It's not all perfect, but life never is. Alrighty. Those of you who picked number 3, the purple butterfly, let's go ahead and look at your pile here. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you everything you got, and then we'll interpret it. We have the 8 of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the 7 of Cups. We have got delight. We've got alert. We have caution. We have passion and romance awaits, and a barrier keeps you from your goal. Okay, this is it. I like to start with the tarot cards because they're usually the most basic. Okay, the Seven of Cups. This is this kind of energy, especially considering with the other energy, this can be about fantasies, okay, and dreams and desires and that kind of stuff. But it's also, it's also kind of forcing you to pick between a lot of different good things, right? I really feel like in context with the other cards, that this is really talking about what you need to pick in order to like kind of focus on, because otherwise you're going to feel pulled in so many different directions. You don't necessarily have to pick one thing, just don't pick seven. That's basically what this card's saying. It's basically kind of a warning that there's a lot of things you're going to be wanting to work on. Try to keep that limited, unless you're like, you've got the I don't know, the energy of a toddler, okay? Because seriously, you've got the Knight of Wands here too. He's passionate. He wants to take rash action. He moves fast. He's that guy, and this could be referring to you, or it could be referring to somebody in your life, okay? And male or female, it could be either. This is a very passionate person that wants to take really quick action. Very fiery person. Somebody who is prone to being a little dramatic and that kind of stuff. Just the kind of person that's trying to take all these seven cups and make them all happen. Okay, so again, make sure that when you are thinking about what you want to create in your world, that what you want to create is also something that's of the world, that's something that can happen in the real world. Because then you've got the Eight of Pentacles, and this is kind of like the happy ending, because the Eight of Pentacles is all about creating that stuff. It's about working hard to achieve your goals. Your goals are going to be achieved, and you're going to be really proud of yourself and all of that good stuff. So, the Seven of Cups, what you have in your mind, whether it's like, oh, I want to buy a new house, or I want to meet that girl, I want to meet the girl I'm going to marry, or I want to become famous, or I want to run for office, or whatever it is, okay, in your Seven of Cups, it's possible. You just have to work really hard on it, and you've got to pick, okay? You might want to be like, you know what, I want to buy the house and meet the girl, and that's what you do, right? Or you might be like, I want to get a raise, and I want to start a new hobby, right? Whatever those things are that you want to do, you can do them, absolutely. It's just you've got to make sure that you're able to focus on it, and then when you put all of that passion towards just one or two things, or maybe three, you'll definitely get it, because that's the thing that's really good about this in 2019, is that you're really willing to work hard this year, and you are going to be working hard on really making some things happen. You're going to be manifesting, and a lot of this kind of, your dreams and your fantasies about, the way the world should be, and like where you should be at this point in your life and that kind of thing, it's going to start happening, okay? So this is all very, very positive stuff here. I think that it's really interesting, though, that we've got both alert and caution. That lets me know that this year is going to be a little anxious for you, okay? In that when we're anxious, our attention is super high. We're more aware of what's going on, and then we feel cautious. We want to kind of put a barrier between ourselves and the rest of the world. And I don't want to talk about it now, but we've got a barrier keeps you from your goal. Okay, right here. But we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So we've got both alert and caution. So what this tells me is just that don't get in over your head, basically. Remember that you can only do so much. You're human. You can only do so much. You can only bring so much into the world. Definitely be aware. Be aware of all the opportunities around you, and definitely take advantage of them. But if you start taking on too much, then you're not going to get anything done. And then this caution thing is also kind of making me feel like you're gonna have to take some risks, okay? Anybody who wants to bring something really big into their life is gonna have to take risks, okay? And you know, you've got the Knight of Wands is just like moving forward with like the intensity of a wildfire, right? Wanting to get this stuff done, wanting to take actions, like totally swept up by their emotions and all of that good stuff. I mean, I like the Knight of Wands, okay? I mean, it might kind of sounds like I'm trashing him. I like the Knight of Wands. He's awesome. He's my kind of guy. But, you know, be alert, be aware of what's going on, you know, be aware of what your opportunities are, be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses and all of that good stuff. And also proceed with a little bit more caution. That's it. You know, it's just saying, you know, hey, you know, you're going to have to take some risks. So yeah, as long as you're cautious, those risks are totally fine to take. So for those of you who are feeling anxious and kind of like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't work on this because, I mean, this is so big and I don't know if I can, you know, it's like, just be cautious. You know, you're already being cautious. You will have to take some risks, though. And for those of you who are, like, running forward like the Knight of Wands, it's just, okay, slow down just a little bit. And that's what that's all about, okay? So we have passion and romance await. So... I can already tell you one of the things to work on this year, right? So this is more the seduction card than it is like the marriage card, for example. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this can't lead to marriage or can't lead to a relationship and that kind of stuff. Passion and romance awaits. You know, it's going to be what you make of it, okay? If you do the right thing, then it's going to become the right relationship. If you do things that are a little sketchy, as one of my friends says, dodgy or shady, right? Then you could get a little bit, you know, carried away with a romantic encounter that might not be so positive for you. So just know that there's going to be some temptation here, you know, romantically for you. And keep your eyes on your goals. That's the best thing I can say. Keep your eyes on your goals. Be cautious. Be aware of what you're doing and what you're not doing and all of that kind of stuff. And make sure that you're focusing on what you want to create when it comes to relationships in your life, okay? And we've got the Gate. I really like the Gate card because it says a barrier keeps you from your goal, but the barrier is a door, you know? So it's kind of poetic. It's like, well, okay, so yeah, there's a barrier there, but it's not a wall, you know? It's not something that's impenetrable. It can open, right? So it's like, I kind of feel like this is a frame of mind. It's like you might be the one standing in your own way. And that might be why the Knight of Wands energy is coming up, because maybe you've been thinking a whole lot about doing something and now it's time to start, and you should be acting like the Knight of Wands. Always cautious, but just, you know, do it. Jump in. Do it. So kind of keep that in mind as well. I think that that's kind of interesting. And then we've got Delight, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and read the blurb on this because it's like so much more, it's so much better than anything that I could interpret on this card. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. So by working towards your goals, by working towards your dreams, and actually making them happen, we're setting an example for those of us around us that you can achieve what you put your mind to. And that is a very, very powerful, very, very powerful message. So be that light for other people in the world and go after something that's like sounds ridiculous to you. I can tell you from my own experiences, I've made some really crazy stuff happen in my life, just because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get from this point to this point, and I'm just basically willing to do whatever it takes to do that, and it worked, you know. So, you know, this I know from personal experience this is possible. And maybe you guys already know what you're going to be going after and all of that. But it looks like 2019 is the time to make something major happen for you guys. All right. So this looks good. It looks like a great thing to expect for 2019. All right. Those of you who picked pile number 4, the pink butterfly. Okay. Let's look at this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you all the cards you get, and then we're gonna start with the sorry, the tarot. So we've got the Seven of Swords, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, and we've got the Emperor. We also have healing, play, cuddle, be meticulous and patient, and a new relationship blossoms. Okay? So keep all of this in mind. I'm going to set aside these cards and we're going to talk about these, okay? Seven of Swords. This is a time where you've got to stop and kind of rethink things, okay? At the beginning of 2019, you're going to find that there's just going to be some things that you've got to just kind of rethink. It's like, okay, well, what went well in 2018? What do I want to keep doing? And then what didn't go so well? What can I leave behind? And then it's like, well, what do I want to have happen in 2019? What am I going to bring to 2019 with me, okay? So I really feel like you're going to be doing some evaluation. I'm not saying that you've got to make a New Year's resolution or anything like that. I'm just saying that, just kind of pausing and really thinking and reflecting on what you want to do this year is going to impact this year for you, okay? So what to expect in 2019 is to start setting your expectations so you can figure out what to expect, okay? Because we really do control our destiny, right? We've got the Ten of Pentacles, which lets me know that you're going to be more successful at a job or in money. If you guys are not in a job right now, this might represent school. It could represent the material world too. Maybe you are a crafts person, or maybe you make something with your hands, maybe you create something. So this has to do with worldly things, okay? But I think that for most of you, this is just straight up money, okay? And then we've got the Emperor energy here, so you're gonna find that 2019 is gonna be requiring a lot of discipline, and it's going to be a little bit. You're going to be pushed, okay? You're going to be pushed to do some things, right? You're going to be pushed to, and I mean, like when I say that, I know that sounds so vague. It's just, we've got the Emperor and he's a fatherly figure, okay? And he wants us to succeed, but he wants us to succeed through determination, through discipline, through taking action, being ambitious and that kind of stuff. And all of those things, are kind of connoted with challenges, I'm not saying that there's going to be big challenges here, but you will have to push yourself to reach your goals, is what I'm trying to say, yeah. So, there we go for that. I would like to move on to this. We've got cuddle and play, okay? So I think that this is just kind of the counterbalance to this energy, okay? It's like, okay, reassess what's going on, and know that you're going to be working, a lot of the stuff that's going to be, that you're going to be working on in 2019 is going to have to do with material possessions. It's going to have to do with work. It's maybe school. It's going to be that kind of stuff that gets you to a point where you will be able to bring in a lot of material possessions. But this is also saying, don't forget to socialize and to have fun while you're doing this, okay? So it's almost like, well, wait a minute. Where'd the discipline go? Where did all this other stuff go? This is basically all about balancing your life so that you have the me time, you have the kind of free time where you're able to be, you're able to be at ease and with yourself and kind of let loose. For all the majority of time you're going to be spending like being very disciplined and that kind of stuff, okay? And cuddle is just reminding us we need human contact. We need to interact with people. Even if it's not in person, just talk to somebody, it's like stuff like that, And I think that this kind of goes with this energy too. We've got be meticulous and patient. This Ten of Pentacles energy will come. I feel like it's more towards the mid to late 2019, but this will come, okay? And then, this goes with the cuddle and play, a new relationship blossoms. This is definitely new. For those of you who are in a romantic relationship already, this could be somebody new that's coming into your life to challenge your relationship. So really keep in mind that discipline and all of that kind of stuff. it's going to happen how it happens anyway, you know? I mean, it's like, you know, you're going to make the decisions you're going to make, but just keep in mind that if you're already in a relationship, either this is going to be coming from your relationship or it's going to be brand new, okay? And it feels more like this is going to be a new thing, you know, like somebody you haven't been in contact with. For those of you who are kind of wondering about a person and that kind of thing, it could be them, it could be somebody else. It's just a new relationship. For some of you, including those who are paired up and those who are single, it's going to be a friendship, okay? But this is going to bring a lot more youth into your life. You're going to feel more connected with who you used to be. And that seems like a strange thing for me to say, but that's what I'm being led to say. Okay? And then we've got healing. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. Okay, so again, we've got the Seven of Swords, kind of rethink what's going on. And then we've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is the material world, okay? So really focus a lot on the material world. Those of you who pick this pile, who are more in a stronger, like, kind of spiritual, you really feed that spiritual side. You really feed that side that gives you the wonderful intuition and the dreams and really creates, a lot of just amazing stuff in your life. This is kind of like a thing letting you know, okay, but also you're in this world as well. So make sure that you're aware of what's going on around you and in your world as well, okay? So for some of you guys, it's going to be this is just a reminder, this healing is just a reminder that we've got to balance out by grounding ourselves and living in the world, For others, this is just about, in order to achieve your goals, you got to use your senses. You got to be alert and aware to what's going on around you, okay? So, those of you who picked the fourth pile, that's what your 2019 is going to be like. All right, those of you who picked the fifth pile, the green butterfly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you all the cards that we got, and then we will talk about what they mean. Oh my goodness, this is it. You guys have already got some good cards here. All right, so we've got the Four of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups, okay? We have Soul Time. We have Beautiful and Adventure, okay? We've got the Seer and the Shield, okay? Okay. You're going to have an interesting one, okay? That's the first thing I could say. You're going to have an interesting, very eventful 2019. Let's go ahead and start with these tarot cards. And we're talking about really connecting with people. This is, if you aren't paired up with somebody, you're going to have a new relationship come into your life. If you are currently paired up with somebody, but you're not, like you haven't taken it to the next level, this year you're going to take it to the next level. This is more than just, oh, okay, you guys are going to get a boyfriend or girlfriend, or, you guys, might get married or something. This is like really finding somebody that's really important for you, okay? Some of you guys have already found that person, and this is pertaining to that person themselves. But it's like you're really sharing things together. You're defining your relationship. You are really coming together, and that kind of stuff. It's very, very positive, okay? We got the Page of Pentacles, so we've got some, either this is going to be like something new, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a new work or a new venue. It's just, it's something new that has to do with money that you're either thinking about doing or that you might do this year. Just know that it's going to be a little bit awkward at first, but then it will pay off. It will. It's a good idea. It's just got to mature a little bit, So I would definitely say go ahead and follow that. Just be very, very honest about it, not only to yourself but with other people. Be honest about what you can do and what you can't do, and reach out to other people for help. Okay, even if they seem like weird people to reach out to some people for help for that too. And then we've got the Four of Swords. You're going to be working. You're going to be doing. Say you're going to be on your feet a lot. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So don't forget to rest. Okay, because if it's like, Yeah, it's really important to be able to take some breaks, get some me time in, get enough sleep, that kind of stuff. Another thing the Four of Swords talks about is privacy, okay? So one thing that this might have to do with is what to expect in 2019. You might want to expect to either do something to boost your privacy, like maybe it's like your online presence, maybe it's something like that, maybe you need to be anonymous somewhere or something like that. Changing your passwords, that's the kind of thing. And for some of you, it could just also mean that you know, you know, there like people who are, I'm sorry, I know exactly what it is. It's just hard to translate it to words. It's like there are some people in your life that are private people. Okay, those people are just private. They don't want to hide something from you. They're just private. And to know the difference between the people that kind of have to mull over things before they talk to you about it, and then the people that are kind of sketchy and don't want you to know things about them and all of that, is that the private person will tell you about it when they come to a conclusion. The sketchy person will let it run on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, so keep that in mind too. Right? So we've got adventure and beauty. Okay, so you are going to be feeling very youthful. Okay, no matter what your age is, you're going to be feeling very youthful. You're going to be feeling like, you know what, I can take some risks, and you guys might be traveling this year. That might be something that's going to be coming for 2019. But one thing you're gonna notice, you're really, really attracting a lot of people towards you. Not just romantic relationships. It's like an inner beauty that's also attracting people towards you as well. Very positive. And all of that adventure, that can go either way. But you've got this kind of magnetism this year, and that's gonna really work for you. I don't feel like it's like manipulative or anything. It's just that people are gonna be attracted to what you have to offer, what you have to give the world. That people are gonna be really seeing you for who you are, and it's good. What they see is good. They like it. So whatever this Page of Pentacles idea is that you have, or this new thing that you have to, this new skill maybe that you want to hone or that you want to show off, or this new job maybe, or whatever it is that you want to do that's different, it will be rewarded. Okay, we also have follow your intuition. Okay, so like when, basically if it feels wrong, it is wrong. That's the best way I can put it. If it feels wrong, it is wrong. Even if it's a video that I make, if it feels wrong, it's not for you, then, that's cool. I'm not going to get mad. You've got to follow your own intuition above anybody else's. And make sure that you don't give up that power, okay? Because your own intuition grows when you're able to feed it and hone in on it, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? And then also know that you're safe from harm. There's some kind of question about whether or not you're going to be secure this year. You will be. You'll be secure. I mean, being safe from harm is kind of like a very naive thing to say, because it's like, well, of course there's not, of course there's going to be times where you're vulnerable and where you're going to get hurt, and where you're going to have a bad day and that kind of thing. I don't mean it like that. I mean it more like everything's going to be okay. You're going to be able to get through this year. This is not going to be like one of those years where like just all this stuff messes up. This is going to be a year where you're really safe from some of the stuff. So if you have like a repeat issue that comes up that really hurts you, and that's really harmful to you, maybe a toxic situation, a toxic person or kind of personality that comes into your life a lot or whatever, you're safe from them now. You don't have to worry about that. So I really feel like this is kind of promising that in 2019 you're not going to have to deal with so much of that stuff, as much as you're going to be dealing with more of the more beautiful and adventurous stuff, so it's okay to come out of your shell if you feel a little bit like kind of hiding. It's okay, because you're going to be okay. You're being taken care of. You're going to be fine. That can be a very, very difficult thing to trust, though, and I understand that. So I please don't think that I'm saying that lightly, like hey, just go out and do whatever. I mean, I understand that's a difficult thing to do, especially if you've been hurt, or especially if you anticipate or worry that you might be hurt. So just understand that what you're supposed to do this year is going to be a safe thing. You're not going to be getting into huge trouble. It's not like you're going to get into a situation that you can't get out of, okay? So Soul Time. This is a really interesting card. The blurb on these cards is always better than anything I could say, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. The frequency of Soul Time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that, while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite, okay? This is really looking at this energy of eternal, being with somebody for a long, long time, looking at your own intuition, understanding that this life is an adventure for you, and understanding that anything new you can create, okay? So this really looks positive for you guys. It looks like you have a lot of great things going for you for 2019. So what you can expect is a lot of beauty and adventure, and it looks like you can even expect some major stuff with romance. All right, those of you who picked pile number 6, the red butterfly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you all the cards you got, and then we're going to interpret them. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Cups, and we've got the Ten of Wands. We have choice and longing. We have the Siren. We have the Chalice, and we have Earth. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look at these turned around so I can kind of see a bigger picture here, because there's there's so much that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and start with the tarot. So the Queen of Pentacles, she is able to get some stuff done in the physical world, okay? It might have to do with money, but it's most likely has to do more with like nurture. Has to do with taking care of the physical body, taking care of maybe the earth, maybe gardening, that kind of thing. So this feels like it's very much about it's about finding richness in things in the material world that's kind of more outside of money, and it's more in this would be in more like experiences, enjoying the fact that you're alive just for the sake of being alive, that kind of thing. I don't feel like this is going to be a year, though, where you're going to be insecure with money, though, either. So kind of keep that in mind, too. But it's just that the Queen of Pentacles is really talking about kind of like that Mother Earth feeling. And, I mean, we've got the Earth card, too. So that's another reason why I'm saying that. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. Understand we've got the Queen of Pentacles, not the King, okay? So the Queen of Pentacles, she's pretty much at the top. She's got things figured out, right? So then we've got to look over to the Ace of Cups, which is like, okay, we're gonna get in tune with our emotions, with our intuition. We're gonna really dive really, really deep. This year, we're gonna really explore ourselves and other people this year, and we're really going to figure out some stuff about what goes on under the surface with people. This year, you're going to be focusing a lot on figuring people out, and you're going to gain a lot more understanding of yourself and others through this kind of exploration. You're going to be able to start anticipating when people are going to be making decisions that they make, and that kind of thing. So that's very positive. And then we've got the Ten of Wands. I'm going to be carrying around a lot of, I don't know, I don't like using, negative words, but it's like you're carrying around a lot of crap that you've just kind of accumulated over 2018 and previous years and all of that. Just have to carry it around, Maybe you feel like you need to punish yourself, or that you're guilty of something, or that um, maybe you're really attached to something, and you don't want to lose it, or maybe you've invested really strongly into something and you don't want to feel like you made poor decisions. There's something toxic that you've got to let go of so that you can so you can free up that energy around you to bring all of that new stuff in. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, we've got a temptation may lead you astray. I want to pair that up with longing and choice and the chalice, actually. So let's kind of look at this. What does this say? We've got a siren, okay? This is like, okay, you might be tempted to be with somebody who might not be very available. That's basically what I'm getting here, all right? But another thing is that you might be tempted by something that's different as well. Tempted by something, longing for something that might be outside of your comfort zone. It might be outside of your comfort zone because maybe that person has a different religion than you. Or it might be outside of your comfort zone because maybe that person lives across the ocean from you. Or maybe it's because that person's an ex that's coming back and it's like, well, this person hurt me. Whatever it is, though, you're going to be given, this person is going to tell you that they want to fulfill your emotional needs, that they want to take care of you emotionally, and that they want to be with you, okay? And it's going to be something that you're going to like, okay? So this isn't the bad ex. This would be the good ex, okay? It's going to be something that you want to happen, And I'm not saying it's going to be an ex. It could be any person, but this is definitely romantic in nature. And if you're already paired up, it could just be that your person is going to be kind of leveling up in the relationship, or it could be another person. Okay, but this is going to be something that you're really going to want. And I really feel like this has a lot to do with long distance, because whenever I see longing, I think about the long distance. I think about how when we long for something, it's because it's not there, right? And given that we've got the rejuvenation, fulfillment, we've got the emotions there, and we've got this, and we've got a choice, A choice means options. I feel like the longing is much more about the distance than it is about not having anything of substance between you and another person, okay? But for those of you who aren't in long distance relationships, just know that most of the people that pick this pile probably are, And this is just another way of kind of highlighting that there's going to be some desire. And then you've got this choice, okay? This reminds me a lot of the Seven of Cups, okay? This is like where you've got all the cups out. In fact, I've got the card out because it came up for a different pile, so I can show it to you guys real quick here. If I can just find it. It came up for the first pile, in fact. My goodness, I can't believe that I didn't find it immediately. Yeah, with one of the first piles it came up, and it it's like you've got a lot going on that you can choose from. Okay, you've got some really great stuff coming your way. And because you have all of this stuff coming your way, this is the Seven of Cups, okay? You've got to make sure that you're picking what you really want to focus on, okay? So we've got choice, right? We got this cat. He's got milk, fish, cat food, dry cat food, all these different things you can choose from, okay? And in here we've got, usually these are filled up with really fantastical items. Sometimes they're not all good. But basically you have choices to make, okay? You've got these fantasies of what you want, what you want to create in your life, and you've got choices to make. I really feel like the choice is going to be a lot more important in this situation, because depending on whether you say yes or no to this relationship, it's going to shape the rest of your year, okay? So this is going to be one of those readings that, unfortunately, I can't say what to expect, except that you've got to make a choice. And when you choose, whatever you choose is going to have that effect on you, okay? So understand also, we've got the Earth card, and I'm going to just read the blurb. It says the frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our Great Mother and revealing the more ethereal, spiritual aspects of our nature. So it's kind of an interesting, almost like dual meaning here. When one thinks of earthiness, you know, you think about somebody who's real grounded, somebody who's got it together, you know, might be kind of might be somebody who's just really, you know, kind of stuck in their ways, somebody who you know, doesn't do anything with that, you know, spiritual stuff, you know, the frou-frou stuff, that kind of stuff. Yet, you know, by connecting with Earth, you're grounded so strongly in reality that you can face the unreality, you can face your intuition, you can face all of that creative energy around you, and you can face your spirituality from a point of view that is very mature, very like I said, very grounded, very, you know, very solid. So when you do get that intuition, it's really based in reality. And I think that can be a big hurdle for some people who are exploring their intuition, and, you know, that aspect of themselves, is that they get too ungrounded. They forget that they're beings that are human, that are of the earth. They're supposed to be on earth right now, not, you know, out there trying to explore the Akashic records and trying to figure out, you know, about, you know, all of the mystical experiences at once, you know. We're talking about people, you know, we're talking about human beings who are born into this world the same way that animals are, that share the planet with trees and wildlife and, you know, things that are very much rooted to the ground and all of that. By being rooted in reality, we are able to predict and start anticipating what reality is going to bring us next. And then we're able to predict and start anticipating what other people are going to be doing, and how we feel and how we're going to feel and how other people feel and how they're going to feel. And we start accumulating all of the information to start, you know, puzzling out things like that. We're able to spot patterns more quickly, and we're able to connect with the source, because the earth is part of that. So, I mean, you guys have got a lot of stuff going on, but the biggest focus here, I think, which is, I mean, and this is very different from the other readings. I've got to comment, you know, it really is. The biggest focus here is going to be about putting down some of the stuff that isn't serving you, and really nourishing your spirituality, your intuition, you know, that part of you that is intrigued by the kind of something more that we can't really explain. And it's also going to be about love and relationships, and you know, what's going on there. So, I mean, this is going to be a year, it might feel a little lopsided because of those concentrations, but that's what you've got going really, really good for you. I do want to come back to the Queen of Pentacles, though, and I do want to say that, you know, again, I really feel like you're going to be taken care of financially, though. You know, the Queen of Pentacles, yes, she's you know, she's like Mother Earth. She is, you know, like that. And I know, you know, how I started out was talking about that and really highlighting that about her, but I really don't want to ignore the fact that she does have it together financially, okay? So, if you are looking at this pile thinking, okay, well, I was wondering if I should expect to get a new job or something like that, you will be taken care of. It's just not going to be the biggest focus this year, okay? So, if you are wondering about, you know, getting a job or something like that, or if you're going to be financially okay in 2019, you will be. It's just that the spirituality stuff and this relationship thing is going to be more important as the year goes on, all right? All right, guys, so that was a long one. A lot of stuff that came up for every single pile, and I could not summarize it. I had to just say every single thing. Really appreciate you guys staying to the end of my video. As always, I always appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes, all of that great stuff. You know, I really celebrate each and every one of you. I'm so excited that I'm at 8,000 subscribers. I mean, it feels like just like a couple of weeks ago I was celebrating 3,000. So, I mean, you guys are really doing a great job letting me know what you want, and I'm going to be doing many, many more viewer requests. So if you do have a request for a specific video, please let me know in comments or email it to me directly if you don't want to share any information publicly. You know, hey, just whatever works for you. So I'm really excited about what's coming up this next year, and I will see you tomorrow.